Why, hello there. You must be our intern. What are you working on? Gonna get me a cup of coffee?
I'm editing.
Right. Keep up the good work. Now, we all fell back this weekend, resetting our clocks to what I'm just gonna say is their proper time. That's right, daylight savings is over, and that's the topic Nancy and Asma discuss in this week's Hot Button. Over to you.
Hello, and welcome to Hot Button. With the clock set back an hour last weekend, it got me thinking about how daylight savings came to be. Did you know that it started in April 1916 and was first implemented by Germany, Austria, and Hungary? During the energy crisis in 1970, more countries jumped on board.
Oh, that's interesting. I actually had no idea about that. Although I do wonder why it began in the first place. I mean, I can't complain about getting an extra hour of sleep, but it would be nice to know the reasoning behind it.
I heard that it was to benefit the farmers. During daylight saving time, they would have more daylight hours. That would be beneficial. You know, they spend a lot of time outdoors taking care of their animals or their crops. They would definitely take advantage of that extra hour during the summer.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so that makes sense to me in a predominantly agricultural society. But my question is, why is it still relevant now that we're not primarily farming based?
For one thing, I think we just got used to it. But if you're in any kind of outdoor sports, would mean you get to be out there longer. Although Saskatchewan doesn't have daylight savings, and they seem to get along just fine. Some people are petitioning to have daylight savings all year round. Do you think that's a good idea?
I don't know if that's a good idea, but it's definitely a good question. I think most people wouldn't miss having to make that adjustment to their schedules twice every year. Personally, it doesn't really make much of a difference to me either way. But if we're being honest, I would much rather have consistency all year round.
I totally agree with you. If it was put to a vote, whether we want daylight savings all year round or standard all year, or if it was to stay the same, I think I would vote for standard all year round. To me, that makes more sense because when the sun is straight up, that's still noon, no matter what some clock says.
I know, right? As humans, we're adaptable creatures, so I think we would make do in either situation. But to me, it just seems somewhat pointless to go through this process when I think of my own daily life.
Some people live in places where it's dark half the year, and we're concerned about 1 hour. Does that make any sense?
To play devil's advocate here, I do know that daylight savings can help conserve energy that we would otherwise use more of for artificial lighting in the evening. And then there's also the argument that it reduces road accidents and injuries because people are less likely to be driving home in the dark. So I suppose there are some benefits to it. I'm just not sure if they outweigh the inconvenience.
You know that in China, the whole country is just one time zone. So they don't even worry about getting it or losing an hour. So it makes me wonder why we even bother with these things.
So that makes me think whether we even have the ability to get it changed, you know, if that's what the majority of people want.
Actually, someone right now has a petition going to keep daylight savings all year round. They need at least 5,000 signatures in order for the government to even debate the subject. And apparently he's halfway there, well, as of today anyway.
Sounds like a step in the right direction. That's a cause I can get behind. We should keep an eye out to see where that goes. What do you think? Do you find daylight savings helpful, or would you rather not have the time change? Tell us on Facebook and Twitter. Thank you for watching Hot Button. See you next time.
We've learned so much in this week's episode of Go on Shaw TV, but remember you can learn more through our social media profiles, either on Facebook, Twitter, and even Instagram. And if you have any story ideas, feel free to send them to go_FraserValley@shaw.ca. Well, that's it, and thanks for watching Go on Shaw TV. We'll see you next time.